In a quiet town nestled between the folds of towering mountains and lush emerald forests, where the air hung heavy with the scent of lavender and whispers of ancient legends, lived Maya. At 18, she was like a sunrise full of promise yet riddled with uncertainty. Her dark hair floated around her in waves like the currents of a hidden river, and her eyes, deep and searching, held the weight of unspoken dreams and fears. But there was something more within her, an unexplainable gift that manifested itself in moments of unsought clarity, visions that painted her reality in hues of gold and silver, yet left her feeling like a wanderer in a land that felt both familiar and alien. Lumeria was a town that thrived on stories, each stone in its cobbled streets lined with the echoes of the past. Beneath the surface, there was an energy that pulsed, a vibrational symphony that seemed to call out to her, pulling her closer to possessions she could not possess. Yet as days melted into weeks, the call became a heavy whisper, heavy like the evening fog that rolled in from the hills, shrouding her in a cloak of self-doubt. Maya's first encounter with the spectral nature of her gift took place in the shade of a willow tree, an ancient sentinel perched at the edge of the town. It was there, on her 16th birthday, that she closed her eyes and simply listened. At first, there was silence, a quietude that wrapped around her ears. It was a silence that beckoned her to still her restless heart. And then, as if the universe had finally chosen to speak, a dizzying montage of visions ignited before her mind's eye, a kaleidoscope of the past and future, where the choices of others echoed in vibrant colors. Friends laughing, tears shed, a heartbroken father, an unnoticed grandmother, all swirling with an energy she could scarcely understand. When she opened her eyes, the weight of the revelations pushed her back against the rough bark of the tree as her breath caught in her throat. She had seen more than mere moments. She had glimpsed a tapestry woven with the souls of those around her. But instead of elation, she was met with fear. Doubt clawed at her heart, reminding her that in a world so wrapped in skepticism, proclaiming such a gift would lead only to misunderstandings and alienation. Maya had come to realize that sometimes knowing too much could feel like a curse. Each dream left her trembling, trapped between the hope of understanding her gift and the dread of the loneliness that came with it. Friends began to steer clear, eyes filled with suspicion and misunderstanding, murmurs of freak filtering through her once welcoming circles. What started off as something special became a burden she chose to bear in silence, like a precious stone tucked deep within a hidden pocket. Though shielded, it was never truly away from her mind. The gentle summer evenings transformed into restless nights, with Maya staring into the darkness, wrestling with a turmoil that roiled within her. She often recalled the comforts of her childhood, the nights spent nestled in her mother's embrace, while bedtime stories swept her off into enchanted realms. But now, those comforting stories seemed far removed from the truth. Her mother, once her greatest supporter, was growing increasingly distressed about her condition, urging Maya to conform, to let go of the mystical visions that clouded her youth. Yet, the visions grew more vivid, more insistent. During these turbulent moments, Maya found solace in journaling. In the dim light of her lamp, she began to pour her heart onto the pages, weaving ink with her doubts, dreams, and a yearning to understand. What did it mean to be chosen? What destiny awaited her? And what if the gift she so desired to embrace was merely a shadow cast by the flickering flame of possibility? It wasn't until she stumbled upon the town library one fateful afternoon, its musty scent wrapping around her like an old friend, that the pieces began to align. Shelves laden with forgotten tomes whispered secrets of the past. Among them, nestled within layers of dust, she found an ancient book with worn pages that sang to her spirit. It spoke of the chosen ones, those who would rise to protect the balance between light and darkness. With each word that danced before her eyes, a swell of recognition washed over her, igniting a flickering candle within her soul. It was a prophecy that intertwined with her fate, a call to action that resonated in her blood. Determination began to flower where doubt had once thrived. Perhaps the burden she felt was not simply hers to bear, but a part of a larger story, a confluence of destinies weaving through the fabric of time. Maya closed the book, cradling it against her chest, her breath steadying in the wake of this newfound purpose. Each revelation became a stepping stone, leading her towards the path of acceptance. The shadows that once loomed over her spirit now stood as obstacles, guiding her into the light. She was ready to seek guidance from the town's reclusive elder, an enigmatic figure shrouded in tales of wisdom and power. But with every step she took towards this purpose, she felt the weight of uncertainty bearing down once more, warning her of the dark forces that would rise to challenge her. Was she truly ready to embrace what lay ahead? Would she surrender to the calling that beckoned her deeper into destiny, or would fear lead her to retreat into the comfort of the familiar? Time would soon unveil the answers, and the perilous journey of the chosen ones was just beginning. Maya stood at the foot of the majestic elder's abode, the air thick with expectation. The scent of earth and moss wafted around her, wrapping her in a sense of both comfort and trepidation. With each step up the uneven stone path, her heart thrummed loudly, competing with her swirling thoughts. She recalled the tales spun around the fires in her childhood, where townsfolk spoke of the elder as a guardian of secrets long forgotten. But what would he reveal? Would he see her potential, or merely the girl wrapped in uncertainty? As she approached the worn wooden door, an unsettling chill skittered down her spine. The door creaked open as if drawn by an unseen force, revealing an ancient figure cloaked in shadows. His wild hair danced around him like frayed branches, each line on his weathered face a testament to a life steeped in wisdom. His fiery gaze seemed to pierce through the fog Maya had worn, as if he could see the flickering flame of her divinity struggling beneath layers of doubt. "You're here for answers, aren't you?" His voice rumbled like distant thunder. There was no judgment, just an urgency that resonated with her own yearning. "I am, but I fear what I may become. What if my abilities are too great? What if they consume me?" Maya's words burst forth unbidden, spilling her inner turmoil onto the cool stone floor. The elder regarded her intently, the fire of understanding ignited in his eyes. "You possess a gift that can illuminate even the deepest shadows, but you must confront the darkness within you to wield it wisely. The path of a chosen one is fraught with challenges, but each challenge shapes not just your destiny, but the very fabric of those around you." As he spoke, Maya felt warmth creeping through her being, soothing the sharp edges of her fears. The elder reached out, placing a gnarled hand over hers, their worlds connecting in a moment of quiet understanding that transcended words. "Follow me, child, and let the secrets of Lemuria unveil themselves." With hesitant hope, Maya stepped inside, standing amidst shelves brimming with ancient texts and artifacts that shimmered with magic hidden from the untrained eye. The walls hummed with energy, a reminder of the legacy buried deep within this sanctuary. As they moved deeper into the room, the elder gestured towards a large tapestry hanging on the wall. Its colors swirled together in a breathtaking display of life. "This is the tapestry of chosen ones," he explained, his voice softer now. "Each thread tells a story, binding together the journeys of those called to protect the balance between light and shadow. Your name is woven among them, but the pattern is yet to unfold. Learn from the threads of others, and you will understand your purpose." As she traced her fingers over the fabric, flashes of her own past began to emerge. She saw instances where she had helped others during moments of strife, a friend in distress, an elder in need, laughter intertwined with tears. Each of these memories illuminated the essence of her gift. Yet overshadowing them were dark tendrils that curled menacingly around the vibrant colors, representing her fears and doubts. The elder's intent gaze tracked her thoughts, as if reading the unspoken queries swirling in her mind. "You have always been a protector, Maya, even when you didn't believe it. Now, embrace that role. Your calling is much larger than you perceive. But beware, dark forces seek to extinguish the light of the chosen ones. They will test your resolve and exploit your fears, tempting you to turn away from your divine path. Shivers ran down Maya's spine as the understanding dawned upon her. Her visions weren't just glimpses. They were warnings. The darker elements that lurched at the edge of her consciousness were not figments of her imagination, but real threats seeking to cloud her purpose. Could she really fight against these forces? Did she possess the strength to reclaim the light that lay hidden beneath her uncertainties? "What do I do?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, echoing the vulnerabilities that lay bare before him. "You begin by believing in yourself, child. The first lesson of the chosen ones is to accept your gift. Through acceptance, you shall not only unlock its full potential, but also reveal the paths that lie ahead. Be patient with yourself. Each revelation is a further step into your destiny. The map to your strength exists within your heart. With each word, the fog of doubt began to lift, revealing a glimmer of resilience that coursed through her veins. Maya sensed her heartbeat stronger, as if echoing the truth of her purpose. Still, an unsettling realization stirred within her. What if embracing her power meant risking the safety of those she loved most? They continued through the Elder's sanctuary, exploring shelves filled with volumes that poured forth rich histories of those who came before her. Each story resonated with Maya as she came to know the trials and triumphs of their missions. It became clear that she was not alone in this struggle. They were all connected by a thread of destiny, each chosen for their unique gifts, yet faced with their own shadows. As the shadows of night began to creep into the room, the Elder paused before a heavy tome and opened it wide, sending an ancient light fluttering softly into the air. A scroll unfurled on the table, revealing an illustration of a symbol that felt strikingly familiar. It was a sigil that lit her heart with recognition. "This is the sigil of protection," he murmured. "Each chosen one draws strength from this symbol, grounding themselves against the darkness that seeks to intrude upon their essence. You must learn to invoke its energy, allowing it to shield and empower you." Maya closed her eyes, envisioning the sigil enshrined within her spirit, feeling its radiant warmth and assurance of hope. "Remember, dear one," the Elder continued, "it is not merely about wielding power, but rather understanding how to harmonize with it. Your gift is a reflection of your heart, and even with its weight, love shall guide you. Use it wisely, not just for yourself, but to lift others from the dark." The knowledge began to saturate her soul, weaving strength into her core. This incredible man, this guardian of secrets, stood not merely as a guide, but as the embodiment of hope that ignited the light within her. Yet, as the moment of burgeoning clarity took root, the chilling winds of unfamiliarity whispered through the room, reminding her of the uncertainties that loomed ahead. Her time with the Elder was shaping her, pushing her closer to the light she had longed for, while also drawing shadows from corners she hadn't acknowledged before. The balance would not come easy, and Maya had to fortify her spirit, steeling herself for the challenges that awaited. The tapestry of her destiny was unfurling, threading her against both the light and the dark, weaving a tale of courage that was just beginning to reveal itself. With a heart ignited by purpose and curiosity, Maya made a silent vow within the hallowed walls of the Elder's sanctuary that she would embrace this calling, learning from the shadows and the light alike. As she took her leave from the Elder, a sense of solidarity overcame her. The burden she sensed was shifting, transforming into a beacon that called her forward, urging her to step bravely into the unknown. The path to self-acceptance is fraught with obstacles, and as Maya descended the steps from the Elder's sanctuary, her heart thrummed with a mixture of courage and trepidation. She felt a simmering energy within her, ignited by the newfound truths she had uncovered amidst the ancient tales. Yet, the shadows of doubt still clung closely, whispering fears that often drowned her sense of empowerment. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across Lemuria as she made her way through the town. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the weight of her destiny pressed down on her shoulders. With her heart racing, she sought the company of her closest friends Liam, a comforting presence with a passion for adventure, and Elara, whose warmth radiated like sunlight in Maya's life. "There you are," Liam exclaimed, his expressive smile easing the tension in her heart. "We were getting worried. You've been gone for hours." Maya felt a flutter of relief wash over her, yet she hesitated, the secrets of her newfound purpose buzzing beneath the surface. I've been talking with the elder. About my gift." Elara's eyes widened, an expression of concern creeping to her features. "And what did he say?" Maya glanced down, her fingers fidgeting with her pendant, a gift from her mother, a tiny crystal that had always carried a sense of protection. "He spoke of the darkness that could overshadow those touched by gifts. He told me I am one of the chosen ones." An uneasy silence fell between them, broken only by the distant laughter of children. Maya felt their concern wrap around her like a shroud. The weight of expectation rested heavily, and she feared revealing the full extent of her journey would only send them further into the realm of skepticism. "Are you sure you're ready for that?" Liam asked cautiously, his voice low as if afraid the wind might carry away his words. "These gifts, they can change people. You don't want to lose yourself, Maya." A flicker of frustration ignited within her. Did they truly see her as just a girl who needed saving? "You don't understand. I've seen things, felt things. I have a purpose beyond just being me." The passion in her voice surprised herself, awaking a primal emotion nestled deep within her. Elara stepped closer, her brow furrowed with concern. "We just want to ensure you're not taking on too much, Maya. Sometimes it can be easier to just go with the flow. You don't have to prove anything to anyone." The words settled heavily on her soul, eliciting a wave of resentment mixed with shame. Did they believe surrendering to the mundane was a safer path? Maya could feel shadows swirling around, the thought of foregoing her potential gnawing at her twilight of self-discovery. But as they looked at her with eyes brimming with affection, she wrestled with defining who she became through their lens. Suddenly, a gust of wind rustled through the trees overhead, shattering the momentary stillness. It tugged at her hair and whispered softly against her ear, reminding her of her divine connection, of the sparks waiting to be ignited within. Maya took a deep breath and voiced the truth she felt thrumming within her. But what if embracing this gift means I can help others? What if my journey is about more than just me? What if there's a reason for all of this? Her voice shook slightly, revealing the core of her desire to be heard. A silence hung in the air, each friend weighing the gravity of her words. Liam met her stare, his expression softening, while Elara glanced to the ground debating her response. Finally, Liam broke the silence. "Maya, if you believe that, then you have to follow that path. But please, remember that we're here for you. No matter how dark it gets." In that moment, a flicker of gratitude washed over her, causing her heart to swell. Admitting her feelings was a step closer to finding the strength she craved. Yet, the shadows lurking in the corners of her mind whispered of the struggle ahead. How would she balance this bright yearning with the path that lay in stark contrast? Would she dare to walk it alone, or could she illuminate their journey together? After their conversation, Maya returned home, her thoughts racing. She stepped into her room and sat on her bed, surrounded by the colors of her youth, yet deep inside, she felt an unsettling shift. It was a struggle between the girl she once was and the woman she was beginning to become. Each vision she encountered, each haunting memory, pushed and pulled her in a cacophony of emotions, unveiling the tapestry her life was weaving. In the stillness of the night, when the world hushed and the moon cast its silver light through the window, Maya succumbed to the weight of her thoughts. Leaning against the desk, she opened her journal, pouring out her heart onto the pages. "What do I even know?" she wrote, the ink flowing freely. "I'm supposed to be a chosen one, but am I worthy of that title?" As she wrote, the words transformed into a prayer, a cry from her soul reaching beyond the confines of ordinary understanding. Each line dissolved into the shadows, dissolving more of the barriers that limited her. Desperation seeped into the ink, fueled by her desire to harness clarity. She found herself captivated by a vision that pierced her consciousness. Her friends standing alongside her, united against a darkness threatening her spirit. That very moment, dawn broke through the veil of night, the first light of morning illuminating her sanctuary. Her heart swelled as she realized she was not alone. The vibrational energy pulsating where her spirit connected with theirs dispelled her doubts and lingered with an effervescent warmth, urging her toward acceptance. Could she weave her friends into this fabric of destiny seamlessly? Could the power of connection dull the lurking shadows? She decided then that accepting her mission meant inviting those she loved to participate in the journey. If they were to face challenges together, she could forge a bond that would electrify their spirits. In the following days, the journey transformed as heeded the Elder's guidance. Maya began to invoke the sigil of protection, crafting rituals infused with her essence. Sitting at the foot of the willow tree, she melded nature with her craft, the whispers of her surroundings harmonizing with her thoughts. And with every incantation, she sent vibrations of love traveling through her veins, imbuing her spirit with vulnerability and grace. But not all journeys were smooth. Tension began rising in the distance. The shadows pinched her light, sending tremors of uncertainty through her heart. She would come face to face with forces that sought to drown out her light, manifesting doubts that threatened her resolve. Just days after her ritual, strange occurrences began unfolding. In town, whispers spread of sightings of dark figures lurking at the periphery, eliciting fear within the community. But with each challenge she faced, Maya silently vowed to remain constant, to wield her gift for the greater good, to bolster the community around her and share the deep truths she held within. This night demon, sorrow cloaked in darkness, became more than mere threat. They became a catalyst for her growth, pushing her deeper into her quest for understanding. One evening, while seated around a fire under the shimmering stars, she conveyed her fears to Liam and Elara. "I thought all these gifts would bring clarity, yet I feel an impending storm approaching, one I might not be prepared for. What if I fail?" The fire crackled, and the shadows danced around them, echoing the simmering tensions of her unease. Elara leaned close, her voice soothing yet fervent. "Sometimes the darkness seems insurmountable, but it's also the prelude to the light. When it feels like fear is gaining ground, you take that as an immediate signal to turn even brighter. Every power you wield isn't just for you, it's for us too. You are the light for us all." Maya felt renewed strength blooming within her as they spoke their truths, gathering courage amidst the darkness looming nearby. Their camaraderie served as a bastion against her fears, illuminating the path for each of them. Clarity ignited as she realized that they were not bystanders. They were a fiery force that could repel shadows and breathe life into the dreams she harbored. And so, amid the swirl of doubts and aspirations, she steeled herself with the resolute understanding that they were indeed connected. Threads intertwined in a tapestry of purpose, echoing across the expansive universe. Maya would not only embrace her role as a chosen one, she would do so alongside those she loved, ushering in unity forged from shared hope and vibrant energy. Days passed like the shifting shadows between dusk and dawn, each moment pulling Maya deeper into her understanding, yet pushing her further into the storm that brewed on the horizon. With each passing encounter, a layer of uncertainty peeled back, exposing her vulnerability, raw beneath the shimmering surface of her aspirations. The gathered energy at the heart of Lumeria felt charged with both anticipation and fear, a potent combination that propelled her forward. One evening, while the sun surrendered itself to the embracing night, Maya, Liam, and Ilara retreated to the willow tree, their sanctuary under the ancient branches. It had become their common ground, a place where they explored the depths of their fears and desires, seeking strength in each other's presence. Flickering fireflies danced around them, illuminating the darkness and creating an ethereal ambience that soothed her restless spirit. Have you felt it too? Maya broke the silence, her voice trembling slightly, as if the words carried the weight of an unspoken truth. The darkness is growing. It's almost like it knows we're preparing for something. Liam nodded solemnly, his brow furrowed as he stared into the flickering flames. It feels as if the air holds its breath, suspended in anticipation. I can sense a presence lurking, searching for our weaknesses. Ilara drew closer, resting her hand on Maya's shoulder, injecting warmth into the chilling reality they faced. Whatever is coming, we'll face it together. Remember the sigil of protection, Maya. If we stand united, no darkness can penetrate our light. The strength in her voice sparked a flicker of hope within Maya, yet it was accompanied by a nagging fear that whispered, what if our unity is not enough? In the days that followed, Maya began to gather knowledge from the tales of the elder and the wisdom of her ancestors. She delved into the past of the chosen ones, uncovering the many battles fought and the sacrifices made. Each story added weight to her understanding of her place within this grand tapestry of existence, as threads of courage and strength interwove with those that told of fear and loss. Maya became entranced by the valor displayed by those who had come before her. From the journals she pored over late at night emerged figures immersed in darkness, yet emerging victorious, wielding their light against formidable odds. It was in this research that she stumbled upon a chilling revelation. Countless generations before her had faced a similar impending darkness, an ominous entity known as the Shadow Wraith. The stories spoke of those who had succumbed to despair, allowing the dark energy to engulf their spirits and extinguish their light. As dread coursed through her veins, the implications of her find sank deeper, a realization that the looming threat was not merely a physical entity, but a composite of fears, doubts, and unresolved pain, threatening to unravel the very fabric of her being. The dark force was not outside of her, but within. Shaking off the cloak of despair, she gathered her friends as clouds gathered in the twilight sky, their camaraderie a balm against the encroaching shadows. Listen to me, she urged, her heart racing. We are all woven into this tapestry, everything we have endured, the shadows and the light, it's all connected. To confront this doom, we must first confront the shadows within us. Their eyes met in a moment of unity, the connection electrifying the air around them. Each friend nodded, resolute in their decision to stand together as guardians not just of the town, but of their own hearts. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Maya poured forth the reflections from her research, mingling her fears with theirs, inviting honest voice into the sacred space they had created. Over the following nights, they crafted a plan to explore their inner shadows together. In a circle of trust, they would peel back the layers of their deepest insecurities, illuminating the dark corners that often went unacknowledged. By confronting their fears together, they hoped to bind their light into a radiant force capable of standing firm against whatever darkness awaited. With lanterns casting their warm glow around the base of the willow, Maya led their circle, her heart pounding in her chest. She closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. Let's begin. I'll share mine first. The weight of her vulnerability hung in the air as she bared her soul, the words trembling on her lips. I fear that my gifts will lead me to hurt those I love. I'm afraid of losing you both, of becoming a shadow myself. Tears gathered in her eyes, yet she pressed forth, fueled by support. Each admission became a stitch knit closer, weaving resilience into their identities. Elara stepped into the space Maya created, sharing her own fears of inadequacy, her desire for acceptance in a world that often dismissed the extraordinary. Liam revealed his fear of not being strong enough, of being a burden instead of a protector. As they took turns peeling back layers, the weight of their burdens lessened, revealing sparks of light beneath. It became a cathartic ritual, a release of fears that previously bound them tight, tangled in isolation. Tears flowed freely and laughter bubbled up, replacing despair with emotional buoyancy. As they echoed their vulnerabilities, internal shadows began to dissipate under the warmth of acceptance. "Look around," Maya said, her voice quivering with renewed strength. "We've faced our darkness together. Let us bind our energies, each shining for the others, reflecting light, rather than retreating into shadow." In that defining moment, as the tapestry of their friendship deepened, they invoked the sigil of protection, standing shoulder to shoulder. To counter the shadows that hung thick in the air, they summoned the remnants of the light they had accessed in their hearts. The sigil began to glow, the energy rising as they held hands, forging a connection stronger than the sum of its parts. As the light intensified, Maya felt a surge within, a reminder that their unity could alter the outcome of the impending storm. But lurking in the back of her mind, a shadow continued to whisper warnings, calling her to doubt her own burgeoning assurance. Could love really weather every storm? Would they stand true against the shadow wraith that threatened the very essence of who they were? The time for preparation began in earnest. Together, they trained with the stories of warriors that had come before them. Each day blurred into the next as they harnessed their individual gifts, discovering their unique contributions to their collective purpose. Hours spent exploring meditation, channeling energy, and honing their innate abilities became a second nature. But one evening, just as the sun melted into a scarlet horizon, reality hit with a palpable force. An unsettling sensation quaked through the ground beneath the willow tree. Time seemed to pause as each of them instinctively braced for impact, knowing, without uttering a single word, that their moment of truth was drawing closer. It was here, amidst the whispers of the wind and the shadows, their unshakable bond wove together, a promise that they would harness the love they nurtured even in the face of despair. Maya felt an electric connection as the call of the shadow wraith reverberated, willing them into the heart of the storm and echoing through the depths of her spirit. The journey to confront their darkness had only just begun. The morrow woke with a heavy blanket of fog enveloping Lemuria, a blanket that clung to the ground like unspoken fears. Maya stirred in her bed, the day pressing on her shoulders with the weight of unfulfilled promises and the intricacies of destiny. She exchanged glances with Liam and Elara as they met beneath the willow tree. Today was the day they would confront the looming darkness that strained against the thin veil of their reality. Gathered together at the base of the gnarled tree, they drew strength from one another, determination glimmering in their eyes like beacons in a storm. "Are we ready for what lies ahead?" Liam asked, a sense of uncertainty rippling through his voice. Maya nodded, a sense of calm washing over her as she spoke. "We've prepared for this moment. We harnessed our fears, which have become our strengths. Together, we can face anything." Elara, brimming with resolve, took their hands, grounding them in a physical manifestation of their unity. With the sigil pulsing at the center of their clasped hands, they formed an unbreakable circle, drawing upon the energy accumulated over their days of training and reflection. They focused on their individual light, merging it into one radiant force that would shield them from the impending darkness. Each heartbeat echoed the stories of the chosen ones that had come before them, echoes that had woven courage into the fabric of their spirits. As they opened themselves to the world around them, Maya felt the pull of the shadow, an insatiable darkness clawing at the edges of her light, hungry and fierce. We must remember that the darkness isn't just out there, it's within each of us too. It thrives on doubt and fear. To vanquish it, We need to embrace our light and walk in its truth, and each other's light as one, with their intentions set. They ventured into the depths of the forest, where shadows twisted and loomed like ominous spirits poised to strike. The path narrowed, trees arching overhead as if guarding secrets lost to time. Her heartbeat synced with the rhythm of the woods, reverberating whispering warnings about the threat that loomed close. Each step carried a weight of sacrifices not yet made, each choice echoing with the voices of those before them. As they moved deeper into the forest, a thick tension clouded the air, imbued with the stark recognition of the fears unfolding around them, a revelation that the shadows did not act alone, but rather fed upon the unresolved fears that lay within them all. Maya turned to her friends, sensing their heaviness, each gripping their weapons tightly. Whatever we face, let's not forget how far we've come. Together, we can dispel the shadows. Crying out with newfound conviction, she rallied their spirits, born from the love they formed within that unshakable bond. As they emerged into a clearing, a cacophony of dark figures filled the space before them, their silhouettes stitching a chilling tapestry of malevolence. The shadow wraith, the collective embodiment of every fear and doubt, assaulted her senses, its presence a tempestuous storm forging chaos in their once tranquil lives. "Prepare yourselves," she shouted, the echoes of her voice breaking through the palpable darkness. They stood side by side, hearts pounding as waves of shadows threatened to extinguish the light they had woven together. Maya reached deep within, drawing on her spirit and conjuring the sigil of protection, filling the air between them with shimmering light. It surrounded them like an ethereal cloak, deflecting tendrils of darkness that writhed against the edges of their brilliance. In that moment, as shadows curled and whispered, the essence of doubt danced around the edges of their minds' future failures, lost grandeur, insecurities all woven together into one insidious entity, the Shadow Wraith. As its tendrils reached for them, Maya summoned all she had learned from the Elder and the stories they researched. This is not just about us. It's about everyone we love, everyone who doubts the light within. She cried, weaving her resolve with the strength of the collective. We will not cower in the face of our fears. Elara and Liam rallied beside her, holding steadfast against the pull of the shadows. Each of them tapped into their inner light, merging it more profoundly as if choreographed by the undulating rhythm of the existence around them. Sparks ignited outwards, shimmering with vibrancy, an unimaginable spectacle, filling the air with intoxicating fervor. Yet the Shadow's wraith advanced, relentless in its hunger. Each grasping tendril sought to tear them apart, sapping their strength. One by one, it exposed their vulnerabilities. Maya's fear of hurting her loved ones, Liam's dread of inadequacy, Elara's quest for acceptance, each exposed wound threatened to spiral them into desperation. It was then that Maya felt the essence of love surging through her veins, a realization multiplied by the bond they had forged. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for each other and the tales that had preceded them. As whispers of doubt filled the air, they began to speak their truths aloud, turning their weaknesses into declarations of strength. "I am strong enough," Liam shouted, his voice unwavering. "I belong," Elara echoed, glowing brighter. Maya lifted her chin and declared, "We are capable of love, and through love, we stand as warriors against this darkness." The brilliance surrounding their circle expanded, illuminating the clearing as their voices melded into one hearty declaration, forging a wave of energy that rippled outward. Shadows trembled, recoiling in the presence of their united strength, and for every hesitation, they transformed fear into defiance. Maya felt the power of their connection thrumming through her, pushing back against the suffocating shadows. Together, shine brighter. We are the chosen ones. Let the shadows know we are never alone. Another wave of light erupted, shattering through the darkness, creating fissures through which love spilled outward like balm. The shadow wraith twisted and roared, a primordial scream that echoed against the trees, struggling against the brilliance of their light. It seemed to contract against the onslaught, losing its grip on the power it once wielded over the trio. In that climactic moment, Maya recognized the essence of their battle transcended the boundaries of light and shadow. It was a testament to their unwavering bond, a reminder woven through each thread. The power of love, acceptance, and unity wielded energy that no darkness could contain. Every moment of fear, loss, and despair became fuel that fired their spirits. The shadowy figure began to dissolve, fragments of darkness exploding into dust, spiritual echoes of every pain transformed into liberation. With one final push, brewed from the love they cultivated, the remnants of the shadow wraith were scattered, consuming its unfathomable darkness. As the light settled, they found themselves enveloped in a profound stillness. The forest lay tranquil, the air crisp and renewed, worn but victorious. Maya took a deep breath, filling her lungs with the essence of a new reclaiming of her spirit. They had confronted the specter of darkness within and emerged triumphant. Distant echoes of laughter mingled with the rustling leaves, breathing life back into Lemuria, while the trio stood hand in hand, the bond between them palpable and restored. In that moment, love soared, intertwining their hearts tighter to the thread of destiny. Maya knew deep down this was not a final victory, but a beginning of their journey, a passage woven into the legacy of the chosen ones. United, they would face tomorrow together, knowing that through love, they could obliterate the darkness and illuminate the path still ahead. Dada, as the remnants of the shadow wraith disintegrated into luminous dust, Maya felt an overwhelming surge of energy pulsate through her veins. However, just as the darkness began to dissolve, one last, desperate shadow coalesced before her, far larger and more insidious than any she had faced before. It loomed like a darkened storm, malevolent and relentless, embodying every fear, every doubt she had ever harbored. It swirled around her fellow chosen ones, binding them in a suffocating embrace, seeking to swallow their light. In a heartbeat, Maya found herself alone in the storm's eye, as if the shadows aimed to isolate her from her friends. The atmosphere thickened with despair, a chilling whisper curling into her consciousness. "You cannot escape your fears, Maya. Look around you. Your friends are weak, and so are you. You will never be enough to protect them or yourself." Each word felt like daggers to her flesh, stirring the deepest insecurities. Shadows clawed at her heart, filling her with uncertainty, whispers weaving through her mind, chaotic and malicious. A clattering storm of questions brewed as the specter unfurled its dark tendrils, wrapping around her. What if they are right? What if the potential to hurt them overrides all power within? In that moment of deep reflection, she was faced with an agonizing moral dilemma. Would she forsake her gift, the very essence of her power, to shield her friends from the very darkness she battled? It would take nothing more than retreating into her deepest shadow, allowing despair to anchor her to safety, suspended in an illusion of love that didn't demand accountability. But as she felt the suffocating weight of shadows pressing against her heart, visions of the laughter and love shared with her friends flooded her mind. The late-night conversations at the willow tree, their symbolic unity, the promises they made to protect one another. Each memory radiated warmth, competing against the encroaching darkness. "No," she screamed into the void, her voice echoing through the storm, pushing against the shadows with sheer determination. "I cannot, and I will not surrender." Channeling the remnants of her spirit, she focused on the flickering light within her, drawing strength from the myriad of emotions flowing through her, a reservoir of love, belief, and partnership that would not be extinguished. In that moment of clarity, Maya understood the true power of her gift was rooted in love. It was meant to illuminate, heal, and protect, not to isolate or diminish. The shadows were not only adversaries but reflections of her unprocessed fears. If she wanted to transform the darkness, she needed to embrace her vulnerabilities instead of letting them control her. Taking a deep breath, she centered herself, reaching beyond the enveloping shadow to connect with Liam and Elara. They were still fighting against the darkness, their voices faint but resolute at the edges of her consciousness, reminding her of their bond of light. With newfound resolve, she declared, "Together, we are unstoppable. Love is our shield." Channeling their combined light into the storm, she felt the radiant energy spiral outward, intertwining their souls as if braided together by ethereal threads of purpose. Maya fought with everything she possessed, her voice unwavering, drowning out the shadow's manipulation. The blinding light surged forth, illuminating the darkness that entangled her friends, threatening to extinguish the flame of hope. With every ounce of strength, she pushed against the shadow, bringing forth the combined power they had nurtured. In a brilliant explosion of energy that resonated deep within, their shields shattered the tethering darkness. The storm crackled, twisting against the force of radiant love wielded by the chosen ones. With one final burst of energy, the shadows crumbled, spiraling away like ashes on the wind. As they stood in the clearing, their bond stronger than ever, the realization washed over them that their love had transformed not only the landscape of their battles, but also the very essence of who they were, victorious in facing their inner demons. It was a harrowing battle, but they emerged into the light, a testament to their unwavering strength. The skies above Lemuria began to clear as the remnants of darkness dissolved, revealing a stunning panorama of brilliant dawn colors spreading across the horizon. Maya stood at the center of the clearing, the warmth of the sun enveloping her like a comforting embrace. Her heart swelled with a mixture of relief and triumph, yet the echoes of the battle still resonated within her. Liam and Elara caught up to her, their faces illuminated with awe and gratitude as they took in the transformation that had taken place. The air was crisp and vibrant, saturated with the essence of renewal. "We did it," Elara whispered, disbelief lacing her voice as she reached out to grasp Maya's hand. Together, we faced the darkness. Maya squeezed Elara's hand tightly, the connection between them a reminder of what they had overcome. Yes, but it wasn't just me. It was all of us, our love, our courage. We faced our fears and emerged stronger. With that, they exchanged knowing glances, a bond intertwining their spirits, a vow to uphold the light and carry it into the world beyond Lemuria. As they made their way back through the still shadowed areas of the forest, they stepped with renewed purpose, a commitment to uphold the love and clarity they had discovered amidst the chaos. However, as they approached the edge of the woods, Maya felt a stirring within her spirit, a knowledge that their journey towards self-discovery was just beginning. The trials they faced served not only as lessons in courage, but also as gentle reminders that the path of the chosen ones was not one free of challenges but rich with opportunities for growth. Each of them carried the weight of their truths, a tapestry of love and healing interwoven with light. Embracing the assurance blooming within her, Maya turned to her friends. "This isn't the end, is it? There are more shadows to confront, and we will be called to help others who wrestle with their own darkness." In that moment, understanding passed silently between them, for the journey of the chosen ones extended far beyond their town. Their mission was to shine brightly in a world riddled with doubt, reminding others of their inner light. As they walked beneath the breaking dawn, the sunlight illuminated the world around them, casting glimmers of hope that danced upon the surface of every leaf and branch. Soon, the whispers of their predecessors echoed back, urging them to share their stories of resilience, vulnerability, and love. Maya's heart swelled with purpose. She was not just a custodian of her gift, but a messenger entrusted to share the tale of the chosen ones, each along their paths of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and fierce love. Their journey had awakened the understanding that the darkness can never truly extinguish the light. It can merely challenge the strength and the brilliance that already lies within. As Lumiria sprang to life around them, they walked hand in hand toward an exciting horizon, knowing the journey ahead would be fraught with shadows yet touched by the light of resilience bred of love. Each step taken would illuminate a path through the dimmest nights, like stars glittering upon the waves of a tranquil sea. Maya felt hopeful, for the calling of the chosen ones had just begun. Her journey didn't end here. It was only the beginning, an eternal journey whose threads connected them all through wind, star, and light. As they ventured beyond the forest, a light breeze rustled the leaves above, carrying with it new whispers, the echoes of others waiting to be found. "We are all chosen in our unique ways," she murmured to herself. Today, they claimed their light in the face of shadows. Tomorrow, they would uncover more tales woven within the fabric of existence. The next chapter awaited, ripe with promise and infinite possibilities.